guys, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tag video. Who thought I would be saying that in 2025? But two of my favorite booktubers have gotten together and created a new tag, which is going to be Sam from Thoughts on Tones and Marinez from My Name is Marinez. They're both channels that I have been watching for a very long time now. I believe Thoughts on Tones was one of my favorite channels to begin with, so I've been watching her for like 6 or 7 years now, and I've been watching Marinez for maybe 5 years. And so yeah, it's kind of crazy that one, I've been on here so long and that I've been watching them so long. Also that we are all kind of feeling a little bit of, I wouldn't call it burnout at this point. I feel like we're all past burnout, but we're at the stage, we're looking for more content. We're kind of frantic for more community. Like, we're settled in our place as creators and what we create, but also because it's been so long, so many creators have left, so many of our favorite creators have left, and there's like a little bit of hollowness, for me at least, where I'm like, oh, I've lost all these people and I don't have anything to fill the gaps, and I'm just kind of watching the same people. So I will be leaving a link to both of their videos in the dibbly-doo down there. But this is a get to know your taste challenge, so it's basically a way to introduce yourself, to talk about your likes and dislikes, and to hopefully find more readers out there like you, and to also use this tag as a way to find more videos, to find new content creators that you haven't previously found, because let's be real, the algorithm is not algorithming, and it's hard to find new creators once the ones that you love so dearly have left. So if you're watching me for the first time, hi, my name is Courtney. I have been creating videos on YouTube for 10 years now. I've been doing it for 10 years and I only have 500 people subscribed. My biggest issue is that I am a lurker at heart, and so while I watch a lot of YouTube, I have a hard time interacting and creating community. I don't know how to do it. I'm just gonna say that right out the bat, but still love this community. There's so many creators that have stayed the test of time that I do like watching, but I am looking for new creators, smaller channels that really align with my taste. And so I'm really excited for this challenge because, firstly, when tag videos were really popular, they were just never my favorite to make or watch. I got tag burnout very quickly, but this one, I love its purpose, I love its message, I love its creators, and I feel like it's time for tags to come back a little bit. We're all kind of ready for this kind of a style of video to be back. So let's get to know my taste. So how do you rate books? Give us a quick rundown of how you do star ratings, or how you don't do it, how you evaluate your books if you don't do that. I am on Goodreads currently. I still use the star rating system, which is a 1 out of 5 stars for a book. I use half stars, I use quarter stars, I don't care. I like them and I use them because I need to be precise. For me, a 1 star is like the worst of the worst. I really hated this book, or there's something reprehensible about it. I don't give it out a lot, but I have given it out. I'm someone who over the past like 2 years has been trying to adjust my scale. I felt like I've been very generous towards books I haven't really enjoyed, and so I'm trying to move towards the center. Like, hopefully I don't read 1-star books, but you know, hopefully I can be more brutal about things and give a 1 star when a book needs a 1 star. So 2 star. For me, this is like my comment. I did not like this book. There's a lot of wrong things about this book technically. There's a lot that didn't work for me in this book. I've been more generous giving out the 2 star for books that I think are not for me, basically. There's normally something redeemable, like it's not an awful book. I can find a way to recommend this book to someone even if it wasn't for my personal taste. 3 star is the middle of the road kind of book for me. I know it should be 2.5, but like right now, 3 star, it's middle of the road. I can talk about its good points, I can talk about its bad points, I can talk about how it didn't work for me. There aren't going to be any favorites in this 3 star category, but they're books I can recommend. They're books that I can find its redeeming qualities and hopefully to find a good reader for. 4 star, this is where we're getting into books that I really enjoyed. I give out a lot of 3.75 stars, books that just didn't quite make the cut. 4 star, I'm really starting to like a book, and it could be on like an emotional level, it can be on a craft level. Normally it's both of those things combining. And then 5 star, giving a full 5 star now is very rare for me. 5 star for me is like best of the best. This book could do no wrong. It's probably going to be a new favorite kind of a book. Question 2, how do you approach reviews? What is your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, structured? Sometimes I'm casual, sometimes I'm structured. It really just matters on the day for me. I'm trying to make more reviews on my channel, and those reviews can be more structured or more casual depending on how much I prepared for them. I always have some type of notes notes with me, but sometimes I'm writing stuff down as I read a book, while other times it's more of an after the fact kind of matter. So there's always structure, but sometimes it's more casual and sometimes it's more, I'm gonna give you every single point. It just really depends on the day for me. I'm a mix of analytical and emotional. I would say, like, yes, my personal emotions come out for books, but I like to think that I back up my feelings with solid answers. I like to look at what other people are saying that they didn't like about a book and kind of using those to inform where I think a book didn't succeed, where it did for me. And I like to try and find like why someone would like this book, really like counter that and say, you know, that part didn't work for me, or this is where I agreed this person had a good opinion and really nailed down what I was feeling. So for question 3, it's what is the book that made you a reader? Whether it was your first favorite or the one that got you hooked, what is the book that started it all? I, as a young child, was just very intrigued by books and by reading. I don't know if it was being a child of the 90s and early 2000s, if it was just like the kind of culture that TV shows, library, schools, and just everything was really trying to get readers. I was entranced by that. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And so books always fascinated me as a object. And so even though I had a really hard time reading early on and I really struggled and had to go to a reading teacher, I was still being read stories every night, owning physical books and wanting to read them, trying to read them. And the first book I can really remember doing this with in my school library before I could read properly was Black Beauty. And I remember crying at this book. Like, when I say like 40 to 50% of this book, I did not understand. I could not read the words, but somehow the story still came through to me, even though I was struggling. Like, I still was emotionally impacted by the end of it, even though I didn't understand everything. The power books, my friends. So question 4, do you have a niche genre? Are there certain genres you gravitate towards, or do you read widely across genres? I like to think of myself as a wide genre reader. I like to experiment. I like to try different things, but I do have my niche. I would mainly call myself a speculative fiction reader. When I'm reading literary, I tend to pick up speculative choices or fantastical choices, but my favorite genre, my main genre, the one that I want to be reading always and forever is fantasy. And within that, I am very picky. I like to read a wide array of things from political to action to character-driven, fairy tale-esque, but I want it to be done well. That's my problem, because I get really nitpicky. I am starting to read more sci-fi. I particularly really love cozy sci-fi. I feel like cozy sci-fi me right now has been working a lot better than cozy fantasy. And my other favorite genre is gay stuff. If a book is gay, even if it's a genre that I'm not super interested in, I'm probably interested in that book. If I'm reading a romance book, it's probably gay. Most of the books I want to read are gay. Yeah, I just love gay books. Question 5, do you generally prefer character-driven or plot-driven stories? I would say I'm a character-driven girly first. I need my characters to be the strongest element of a story. I don't necessarily need to fall in love with them. They cannot be relatable. They can be detestable, but I need strong characters. I need to be interested in the characters, but I can't have completely plotless books. Like, there are some books that have very slim plots that I do enjoy, but I need the plot to support the characters. Like, if I'm reading a plot-based fantasy book and it just feels like the author is moving around chess pieces to get the characters to interact because it's a character-driven fantasy, that's not enough. I need the characters to influence the plot. The plot cannot just be kind of loosey-goosey. Question 6, what's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? What's the one book you love enough for everyone? So there's a lot of books out there that I love, that I want to be the champion for, but I feel like those books are also popular with a wider range of people. Howl's Moving Castle, Jane Eyre. I am not immune to popular books. They tend to be good. If I was going to champion one author, this author is still popular, by the way, but I have loved every single book that they have written, and if I was going to be their number one defender, it is probably going to be Becky Chambers. I just need more from her right now. I need more books. But everything that I've read by Becky Chambers, I have loved. It's like, I can love her enough for anybody else. If Becky Chambers was just making books for me and I couldn't share them with anybody, I would be fine with that. I didn't include this in my favorite genres, but I also read manga on here, so I also have to include a manga choice. This was the first book that came to me when I was thinking of answers for this challenge, and that is Ballroom e Yokozo. Ballroom e Yokozo is a sports manga, and it is following a ballroom dancing couple. It starts off with our main character Takeru, but it slowly grows its cast of characters, and we get a secondary main character, which is his dance partner. The manga artist has had some health problems, so it hasn't had regular, consistent releases, but it has an anime that is also excellent. excellent. This anime, this manga is not super popular, especially it's just not super popular. It is sometimes hard to get a hold of volumes, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get another release. Even though there is a new volume that has been released in Japan, like, I really don't know if the manga company in America is ever going to keep publishing these without confirmation that the series is gonna go on. I believe it's in hiatus. The author comes back intermittently, but it's just like, I feel for this manga. I need to see its conclusion. I know nobody else cares about it, but I care about it. And I feel like that's the kind of crux of this question. If there are no fans for this, you're dead kind of a thing. And it's like, if there are no fans for Ballroom as Yokozo, and there really aren't, it means I'm dead, because I'm the one fan, and I'm gonna keep being here talking about it. Question 7. What is a book you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? The book where a difference of opinion is a strong indicator of different reading preferences. So for the last question, it's like, if people don't like Becky Chambers, if people don't like Ballroom and Yokozo, I'm just like, okay, whatever, we don't have the same taste. I don't care, because I love them so much that I will be there for them. But as a fantasy reader, don't like this book, and you are also a fantasy reader, I'm gonna judge you just a little bit, and that is The Fifth Season by M.K. Jemisin. Especially for non-fantasy readers, I get why you wouldn't like this. I get it's complicated, it's confusing, it's a lot. But also, if you don't like this, I know that we don't have the same taste, and I know that your taste, in my opinion, is probably bad. If someone says they don't like The Fifth Season. Question 8. What is your pocket trash? What books, tropes, or themes that you know are bad, but you love them anyway? So I kind of have two things for this. I have the Foxhole Court series, which is a book series that I find so reprehensible that I don't talk about it and my love for it, or I try not to. And then I have the trope or the genre of isekai manhwa, and I'm specifically talking about the shoujo manhwas or the for women manhwas, where it's like reincarnation, villainess, and I feel like there is a commonality with these two genres, especially with the Foxhole Court and the manhwas I tend to enjoy, and that is like, there is a lot of bad things happening to these characters, and I just find there to be a certain catharsis in these really traumatic, horrible things happening to characters, and then especially with the manhwas, like seeing like kind of a Cinderella story where they either become a badass or they get everything that they wanted and the villains of their story live an awful, horrible life. So cathartic sometimes about seeing really bad things happen to really good people, good-ish people. I don't like grimdark fantasy, but sometimes it just feels good to watch characters hurt. So question 9, do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that if it's present is an immediate turn off. Insta-love is a big one. I can't deal with it. If characters start getting ushy-gushy, I'm just like, sir or ma'am, you don't know each other. Pregnancy is a big one for me. As someone who is not interested in having children or being a parent or getting pregnant, especially hidden pregnancy or just like the pregnancy trope, or if you have a female character that is only focused on pregnancy and nothing else, it's kind of a turn off, because I think what happens is that it's like equating women, like you can only be a successful woman if you have pregnancy or if you're looking to be a mother, and it's like, obviously I can read mother characters. The Fifth Season is one of my favorite books, but it's like, that can't be all there is to the character, because to me it's just not something I equate with my female body, so so I don't like that equation of the female body and only think about motherhood in books. Along that line, I don't like gender essentialism in my books. That really turns me off as well, where I'm just like, ew, nasty. When you refer to someone as male or female, it's just not for me. Also, dumb characters. As a manga reader, as someone who likes sports anime, there's a very specific dumb character that I really enjoy, but kind of the naive character that can't pick up on things, that's just stupid because the author can't have the character realize things. That's where I gotta complain. Question 10. What is a strong opinion you have about books released in the last year? Whether it's an overrated book, an underrated book, or just share a take you need to share. For my manga hot takes, Witch Hat Altair is getting a anime this year. The manga is fantastic. It's one of my new favorite series, and I think once it gets into an anime format, this is going to be the next hit anime. I think it's going to appeal to a wide range of people, and whatever season it comes out in, it's going to be the top anime of that season. It's going to be the next big thing, and it's going to be hard to buy in the store. So if you want to read Witch Hat, I would try and start gutting the volumes now if you're trying to collect them, because I think they're going to be hard to get for a couple month period after the anime releases. releases. And for my bookish big hot take, one of my favorite creators, Jess Owens, she has been referring to books as having the beautiful gowns syndrome. And the beautiful gown syndrome in books is that we have all these beautiful books coming out, these beautiful covers, these beautiful end pages, and then the book itself is very half-baked in the inside. And I don't think it's just beautiful gowns as in the books look beautiful. I think it's synopses too. Like, there's so many books coming out that sound so much like something I would enjoy, and then the contents of the book, sometimes they're just half-baked, and I'm like, oh, give this author like 3 more years or just a year with a better editor or a editor that can really dedicate some time to this, and this is gonna be my new favorite thing. But it's also just like, nah, this is trash. This is really bad. It's hard because there's so many new releases I want to read. I want to be on top of what's popular, but I'm finding books that I'm really enjoying to tend to be the backlist stuff, just because I feel like a lot of times those are the books that had a lot more editing and a lot more development. In fantasy, one of the biggest problems I'm having with new books is that the worlds are not fleshed out, things don't feel developed, characters, plots don't feel developed. I'm not blaming the writers all the way on this. I think it's the publishing industry trying to get stuff out too quickly. Question 11. What do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Is it prose, style, theme, voice, structure, or something else? I would like to think of myself as a well-balanced reader. I like world building, plot, characters, and good writing. I like all 4 of those things to be represented in my books. Characters and maybe world building are my 2 most important things, but I can't have the plot or the writing slack off either. For characters, what I'm specifically looking for is I like the characters to feel real. That's not just being fleshed out, I like them to be kind of voicey, and that kind of falls into what I like in writing style and craft too. Where I really find favorite new books is when a author has a very specific style, have a very specific story that they're trying to tell, and a very purposeful way of writing that story. So maybe some books like this could be a little bit too hands-on. I'm not saying that they're hand-holdy, I'm just saying that it's a very specific style. There might be very non-traditional elements here that are very purposeful that some people might be turned off by. It's really the author driving or creating a story in a very purposeful way, which some people think of as a little too hands-on. How do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, or follow external factors, hype, recommendations, arcs, etc.? For me, it's always my physical TBR that is the most demanding thing. I don't like having a giant physical TBR, and yet I always acquire about 20 books to read. But there is a little bit of mood reading in there, a little bit of, I have to read this because I've been sitting on it for a while, or I want to make a video on it, so I have to read it. So, mood reading, but there is some structure there. It's also mainly based on what I can get in the library. Where do you get inspiration for book talk content? What sparks a video idea? Other creators, trends, personal reading experiences? For me, definitely when I was starting out, it was other booktube creators. What really drove me forward. Obviously, tags were a big thing back then, but the structure of a booktube channel, having a wrap-up, having a sometimes TBR, I do like those structured videos still, even though they're repetitive. I still like them, and when people started getting more creative, doing more vlogs, that content inspires me as well. And it still inspires me, but sometimes I just find like a niche specific thing that really draws me in that I want to talk about. I'm thinking of my seasonal reading vlogs where I tried to pin down what seasonal mood reading was really about, and I did that for 4 different vlogs. I've been working on a couple different long form videos with kind of similar stuff where it's just something very niche that interests me that I want to investigate. But I would say the biggest thing with those ideas, where those came from, is not just booktube content, it's also just regular YouTube. I like video essays, I like people like Safiya Nygaard and Jenny Nicholson. So those people, those essayists and different YouTube content influences and inspires me to make something book related in kind of a same or similar sphere. Question 14. If you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? A book you think deserves more attention and why? For this, again, I was trying not to think of like a favorite book because some of my favorite books are also everybody else's favorite. For this, I picked one of my favorite books of last year, and that is going to be The Deep Sky. This is a sci-fi novel, but it has some literary elements. It has some psychological mystery thriller horror elements, and it had 10,000 readers, which is no small feat, but it's also not one of the top sci-fi or genre books by a long shot, but it was a book so perfect for me, so I want other people to discover it, because if you are a big sci-fi fan, or if you're a literary fan that likes something a little more genre bending, you're gonna really enjoy this. It was so excellently crafted, but it had a specific story to tell. It had a specific way of telling that story, and it did so. And the final question, question 15, who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? Even when all of my favorite booktubers were still making content, I tend to like booktubers that have different tastes than me. Even my fantasy readers like Reagan from Peruse Project and Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, those are two of my most watched creators. I don't think our tastes align perfectly, but I think that's okay because I use them as a gauge to see whether I would like it. I've been watching some of these people for 10 years now because I've been on BookTube for 10 years, and so I know where our tastes are similar and where they different. I know what books we have in common and which ones we don't. And so I watch Books and Lala, I watch Jess Owens, I watch all these people that have very different tastes than me, and I like that because it introduces me to different things that I wouldn't necessarily pick up. And it also tells me, hey, I'm probably not going to like this because I know that person's taste pretty well. But that's the beauty of this video and this tag, is because I feel like I'm going to find some that I haven't watched before that probably have more similar tastes than me. And I'm also going to find some more booktubers that have different tastes than me. I'm excited for that too because I do enjoy that. So my answer is I don't know who yet, but I'm hoping to find them out there. So if you think you have similar tastes to me, I would love to know. But I want to just thank the creators again so much for this tag. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to find some more booktubers out there. Again, I've really been feeling a dry spell where I have my top 10 people that I watch, but I'm looking to fill some of those empty spots that have gone vacant over the years. I'm really excited to find some new content creators, especially because I've given up TikTok and suddenly I'm watching a lot more YouTube than I ever have before. I'm not a giant TV person. I'm not a giant movie person. So reading is my big thing and YouTube is my big thing. So I need more people to watch, but I'm really excited for that because I need more people to watch. Thank you so much for watching. If you're going to do this tag or you've done this tag, I would love to know. Let me know if you are a similar reader to me. I'm trying to find you, but thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later and happy reading.